For one yellow sponge that lives under the sea and a pineapple, he'd had so many adventures and he'd been on a lengthy quest to bringing us entertainment for over 20 years. A couple of years ago, his movie celebrated its 20th year anniversary, and it's still one of the highest grossing animated movies ever made, and the most successful, and in my opinion, still the most funniest. But yet, Hollywood executives, mostly Nickelodeon and Paramount, just want a sweet chunk of change for it. So, it was no duh that they would eventually technically make a sequel to the SpongeBob movie. Technically. And it pains me as a huge SpongeBob fan to say this, it's one of the worst pieces of animation, and it's one of the worst SpongeBob movies I've ever seen. This one's gonna hurt, isn't it? But for a little sponge who lives under the sea that done everything, especially saved Bikini Bottom from the wrath of Plankton and King Neptune, what's left for him to do? Then come into the world of the real life and living. Be very afraid. Greetings, kids and nerds, I'm Ladies Universe Might and Nerdy, and welcome to my review of SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. I hate this. I hate this so much. SpongeBob's legacy up by this point is iffy if you're a fan of his. Specifically, I like to say that around basically 2017, I would say, is when I fell out of the show because it was no longer creative, it was no longer funny, and the episodes that they're doing nowadays are really damn questionable, for sure. But SpongeBob's legacy, I would say from like 1999 up until about the 2015-2016 territory is amazing. I don't know when this movie came out, and I doubt that it said so here. It came out in 2015, basically at the last pinnacle peak of SpongeBob greatness before it went down. What is needed to say about SpongeBob SquarePants? He's one of the longest running children's cartoon ever since 1999, and he is over 20 years old and growing. By this point, you don't really need me to come in here and tell you how popular that SpongeBob has been ever since he first premiered, but it goes without saying that just one little idea from Steven Hillenburg made all the difference for America, and that he's one of the most popular children icons to this day. In 2004, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie was one of the biggest financial, not disappointment, but basically financial successes for Nickelodeon and SpongeBob. During the point of 2004, SpongeBob's popularity was kind of shifting. It wasn't really as big as it should have been. But after the movie, everybody was talking about SpongeBob, and that's for good reason. The movie was a really successful peak. It's very funny, well animated, and it really gave point to SpongeBob, proving what he is to the world. I'd love to review the SpongeBob movie, but unfortunately, I'm reviewing a piece of crap! Okay. The only reason why I own this is to have the SpongeBob movie. That's the only reason why I own this. But, hey, after I bought this, I thought, Sponge Out of Water can't be as bad as people have said it is. Oh no, because it's so much worse. And if you're wondering about Antonio Banderas, we'll get to that, but in good time. So you're here for me to talk about this, so let's get into it. Let's dive back into Bikini Bottom, visit the sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea, and see where things went fucking wrong with SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. Our adventures, much like anything else in the SpongeBob universe, begin with the Krabby Patty formula, as it being one of the greatest inventions that is basically given to the Bikini Bottomites. As we all know, as SpongeBob fans, there is one person who will stop at nothing to get the secret Krabby Patty formula, Plankton, and he wants it badly this time. But what makes it worse is the fact that SpongeBob and Plankton fight over it until mysteriously, and nobody knows how, the Krabby Patty secret formula disappears.
What? Where'd it go?
Wait a minute. Molecular deconstruction. What the fuck is happening here?
So after whatever the fuck that was, everybody blames Plankton for the Bikini Bottom for the Krabby Patty secret formula gone missing, all except for SpongeBob. Yeah, and a nice change of events for this movie. SpongeBob teams up with Plankton. He believes he's innocent. He believes that he didn't do nothing as much and as evil as he is. And this is also a very good idea. SpongeBob teaming up with his basically adversary to kind of save the world. It was an idea that could have worked. And the writers of this movie did a good job so that you'd feel for Plankton. And you do. You want him to kind of get revenge for whoever wronged him. Unfortunately, that didn't go as planned. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but for the first part, they want to free Plankton's wife, Karen, actually Tom Kenny's wife, and so that way they can build a time machine.
I'm sorry. I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
I bet a lot of you thought I was goddamn joking, didn't you? No, I was telling the fucking truth. SpongeBob and Plankton, with Karen, invent a time machine. They go into the future, but only the future of a couple days. And even Plankton was like, we didn't go back far enough as we intended, we went forward. But then they go too much far forward, and they meet this thing that's a lot like Uatu the Washer.
Is Bubbles. Bubbles? What kind of a name is Bubbles? It is my ancient dog.
What the fuck just happened?
So, after that, Plankton and SpongeBob return to the hellhole that is Bikini Bottom because it's a progressive movie or some shit. Where SpongeBob had gone sick and tired of people going after him and Plankton, and he finally says enough with his bullshit. If you people want to sacrifice for frickin' Krabby Patties, kill me. That is until they smell Krabby Patties. Yes, mysteriously, and it's coming from the world up above. But they cannot get there because they breathe water. So who should help them? Why, the Dolphin Washer, of course. Yeah, why the fuck not? The Dolphin Washer basically gives them the ability to breathe on land and to breathe air to find the Krabby Patty. And here's where we start the part that kind of ruined the movie for me. The cartoon to real life aesthetic. Something that SpongeBob hasn't done until this point and should never do. Now, listen, they were obviously experimenting, and they obviously wanted to try something that hasn't been done before with SpongeBob. Sort of. You've seen SpongeBob interact with the human people in the SpongeBob movie, yeah. The Cyclops and also David Hasselhoff. Two very unexpected moments. But those were funny because they were unexpected. No one knew they were coming. This was everywhere in the trailer. Everywhere. In promos, in trailer. Please, SpongeBob, come to life. Except, you know something? Stuff like Cool World, stuff like Space Jam, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You want to know what's different between your film and theirs? Headphone users? They didn't fucking suck! Of all the things for SpongeBob to do, this is the most questionable. Why put SpongeBob in a real-life situation? Why have Mr. Krabs have an arch nemesis named Burger Beard? Why does Burger Beard want the Krabby Patty secret formula? What's the purpose with the stupid magical book? He has the magical book. Why the hell didn't he just write fucking SpongeBob? What was the point of him having the magical book in the first place? Why is there a magical book in the first place? And why does everybody obsessed with stealing the Krabby Patty formula? Is that the only thing that SpongeBob consists of? Ah!
Oh,
Yes, Antonio Banderas is actually in this movie, and he plays a character called Burgerbeard, who wants the Krabby Patty secret formula so he can have a thriving business. And he has a magical book that can rearrange and change stories because I honestly don't fucking know. There was no fucking reason, no goddamn reason whatsoever to have Antonio fucking Banderas in that fucking piece of shit. So, to make matters worse, he uses the magical book, yes, it's a fucking plot now, to send them to Pelican Island, where they're to be eaten and devoured by pelicans. That is until SpongeBob notices something. They can actually use the page of a book to rewrite the story, so they'll rewrite it to their advantage doing this. No, you're not on drugs, although you'll probably wish that you were, but SpongeBob and team become superheroes, and not even a reference from the series either. No International Justice League of Super Acquaintances? Really? You couldn't make a reference to them? You had to do something far more stupid? So they managed to hunt down Burgerbeard, yes, it's a plot thing and whatnot, and of course everybody wants the magical book so they can change things back around, but unfortunately their plan doesn't go as well as expected. They become idiots, destroy the book in a fire, don't know how that's fucking possible, and end up losing to Antonio Banderas because he's Antonio Banderas. But all seems lost for our heroes. Well, it would be, except Plankton had one surprise for them, where he becomes the Incredible Hulk.
Plankton?
It's Plankton.
Gotta be kidding. No one is stupid enough to believe that.
And that's why this movie sucks. I had another mental breakdown. This movie sucks, by the way. This is the worst SpongeBob movie I think I have ever seen in my entire life. This makes people sad. This is a mental monstrosity on top of everything. Who was this made for? Who was this intended for? Children? Well, obviously it has to be towards children. But children aren't stupid! You can't just throw this at kids and expect them to be entertained! Babies, yes. Toddlers, possibly. But kids? I mean, I'm talking about like 10 years old at best. Yo! Who are you expecting this to be for? Who? And you want to know what the most hurtful part is? This was written by Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob. The man that brought us such classic jokes and episodes throughout all of SpongeBob's history. The writer of the SpongeBob movie. The fuck happened to you, dude? Did you and I don't mean to pick on that poor guy because I know that he died due to cancer, if I'm not mistaken. But what the hell happened? I mean, this is just the biggest letdown I think I have ever seen from the SpongeBob property. Probably even more so than his recent seasons. Look, if you want a good SpongeBob recommendation, go and watch my SpongeBob Sponge on the Run movie review, which actually was pretty damn decent. And please, if you can find it, if you can watch it, you can watch it for free on YouTube, by the way. Watch the SpongeBob movie. It is awesome, amazingly funny, full of great moments, funny characters, just outright outrageous comedy out the wazoo. Stay away from this! I beg of you! Go and watch my SpongeBob Lost episode review. Go and watch the Christmas episode. Anything! And no, I'm not even going to tarnish this with a Funko rating. But I will say, aside from the live action stuff, the movie almost was pretty damn decent. Well, not the time travel stuff, of course. But the idea was pretty simple. Having SpongeBob team up with his worst enemy? Yeah, that's something that SpongeBob had never done before, except a few times in in his past and in some episodes. We've never officially seen him team up with Plankton, and that would be wonderful. Kind of see who is really the person who stole the Krabby Patty secret formula. Who is the person that basically is taken down Bikini Bottom? Don't introduce a stupid villain in Mr. Krabs' history if we've never seen him before! Ah! All I have to say is just that! Look, go and watch any other one of my SpongeBob reviews. Go watch frickin' Phantom Strider, for God's sake. He does these SpongeBob reviews. Go and watch anyone else talk about SpongeBob. Connor the Waffle. Anyone! Stay away from this movie. I'm not giving it a Funko Pop rating. I admit it could have been better if it stayed with what it was doing to begin with, because it's kind of like it had a stupid idea, then a good one, then what the fuck are you doing territory, followed by oh my god, you're fucking serious with this shit territory. So, do yourself a favor. Go and watch any other SpongeBob material or reviews that I have done or anything else, including the new stupid seasons if you want to. But stay away from this fucking piece of shit. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to notify everything that I make an upload, and follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. Feel free to, say your own opinions, and I wish I could, make a SpongeBob, a top 10 favorite SpongeBob episode list. I really wish I could. But stay away from Sponge out of water. Well, hey, look at the bright side. At least the next time that we come here, I could be reviewing something great, right? So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. But you didn't really stop on Nerdy Keep it on. And until next time, as always, take care. But it's not like that there could be another, property of mine that I really do love that basically might have been destroyed by a new movie or something. Oh!